Hello, good day, everyone. We have just come across a very interesting news and a very interesting development indeed. Donald Trump, the warmonger and the compulsive liar of our time, a war criminal per se. Donald Trump is now seeking peace, ceasefire between Iran and Israel. And so Iran pounded Qatar air base recently, and after that, the knee-jerking reaction is very much there, visible. Donald Trump, the big brother, is begging for peace. According to Iranian media outlet, Trump was literally begging Iran for peace. But his rhetoric in the last few days, or rather in the last few years, especially since he came to power after Obama, was very belligerent and rejective of the Muslim world and especially Iran. Iran was singled out as a violator of global peace and on the verge of becoming a nuclear power, which was or which has been a blatant lie. Western media, politicians, intellectuals, and their collaborators globally, they believe Iran is on the verge of becoming a nuclear power, and so much so, the Israeli prime minister, another war criminal and a demagogue and a compulsive liar, he produced numbers. He said recently that in between 19 and 15 warheads, nuclear warheads, have already been prepared, manufactured, possessed by Iran. We all know these are nothing but balderdash. These are nothing but lies. And these compulsive liar and war criminals like Trump and Netanyahu have learned something. They had to pay a price. The two biggest warmongers and compulsive liars of our time, Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, are now begging for peace to Iran. What was least expected has happened in the last 12 days of an asymmetric war in the Middle East. Weaker Iran, having virtually no air force and no nuclear power, was fighting two superpowers. One is Israel, another is United States of America. Two nuclear powers. That's why I'm saying even Israel is a superpower in comparison to Iran. The weaker and militarily insignificant Iran has not only defended itself from joint US-Israeli invasions, but has also taught the two mighty adversaries in such a manner that Trump has sought peace with Iran, almost like a beggar. Despite Israeli intransigences, the Iranian bravery and some superpowers' not so subtle belligerence toward Washington have forced Donald Trump to beg for peace. Washington's and Telaviv's heydays are seemingly over. So I think the world is coming to the end of history. I'm paraphrasing Francis Fukuyama's The End of History. The end of history here is not democratization of the whole world. Rather, my end of history connotes one thing, that is the new imperialists, America and their protege, Israel. Their heydays are over. I believe in my lifetime, I will see this happening, crumbling down of the United States evil empire and another evil state in the heart of the Arab world. I firmly believe, with evidence, there's concrete evidence to buttress my arguments, that United States is run by war criminals. Pentagon, State Department, even intellectuals, colleges, military installations, including the military college I used to be a professor where, APCSS, they are all run by war criminals. And as I have argued in my book, Global Jihad in America, the 100-Year War Beyond Iraq and Afghanistan. As I have argued in my book, Global Jihad in America, the 100-Year War Beyond Iraq and Afghanistan, published by Sage in 2014, translated into Hindi and Marathi. This book, what I have argued, the 100-Year War has already begun in 1948. 14th May 1948, with the establishment of this illegitimate entity called Israel, a racist country which disenfranchised, overpowered, and disinherited Palestinians, millions of Palestinians. That war has begun in 100-Year War, began in 1948. It is continuing, but I hope it will end before 2028. I should have revised the title, not 100-Year War. 100-Year War will end before 2048. I believe so. I have reasons to believe so. I'm not citing some non-Western media or outlet. I'm citing here CNN, how this humiliating deal came into being yesterday, Monday. Donald Trump was begging for peace. CNN reports Iranian retaliation, a sudden ceasefire, and lingering nuclear questions. Wild swings in the Middle East. Wild swings indeed. What was unthinkable? Because we know what happened. Donald Trump abruptly left the G7 summit in Alberta, Canada, on June 17th. And he said, we are going to invade Iran. When, I don't know, but we will do it. Then he specifically said, he specified, in the next 2 weeks' time, we will invade Iran and we will teach Iran a good lesson because Iran is violating NPT, Non-Proliferation Treaty. By the way, I ask you, all the rational beings who are watching my show, how two nuclear armed nations, the United States and Israel, and their supporters in the West, Britain and France, those who are nuclear powers, how moral is it? Can they really morally ask any country in the world not to go nuclear? They are nuclear powers. They should do away with their nuclear power bombs first and then urge Iran or some other country, oh, don't go nuclear. This is hypocrisy. This is double standard. And United States is the only country which has used nuclear weapon to kill few 100,000 people in Japan in 1945. It is the only country so far. And it is now lecturing others, oh, don't go nuclear, otherwise we'll retaliate against you. But I believe this nation of warmongers, war criminals rather, is headed by presidents from Truman. After 1945, all the US presidents, including Truman, Harry Truman to Donald Trump, have been war criminals. Possibly we can only single out Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was possibly the only gentleman who did not promote violence or war, perpetual warfare against everyone in the world. Jimmy Carter is the only exception. Besides him, even soft-spoken Barack Obama and gentleman Bill Clinton were war criminals. These nation of war criminals president now lecturing Iran. Oh, you don't go nuclear. And after 17, they invaded surreptitiously. They said, we will destroy Iranian nuclear bomb-making establishments. Fordo and Natanz and Isfahan, they used their notorious B-2 aircraft. And then Trump started in his atypical way. Oh, we have obliterated nuclear capabilities in Iran. And now he's justifying signing a ceasefire with Iran on the pretext that we have already destroyed their nuclear capability. But there was no nuclear capability of Iran. None. It's very much like a deja vu for us. What the Western powers, even in the United Nations, U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell showed some test tubes and said that, oh, Iraq is that close to making chemical weapons of mass destruction. Another liar in London, Tony Blair, he said Iraq has a capability of hitting London and Iraqi missiles which would reach London in 45 minutes. They have the capability. They were lying to the world, lying to their own people, and they have not yet said, sorry, we destroyed Iraq. The agenda is very much that in the Middle East, in the most important region in the world, the region where you have the Suez Canal and the Hormuz Strait, and which is oil rich. Imperialists need to control that. And this is what the father of Zionism, Theodore Herzl, wrote in his booklet in 1896, that a Jewish homeland in Palestine would be a Western rampart in the heart of the Arab world. This is what he wrote in 1896. And that thesis is still valid in 2025. Israel is nothing but a Western rampart in the heart of the Arab world. And some sycophant, anti-people, ruling elites from Saudi Arabia to Jordan are pampering Israel for the sake of remaining in power. And even the regime in Egypt, General Sisi's regime, is not free from this. They are all Western lapdogs. They are anti-people, anti-freedom, anti-democracy, and anti-humanity. Human rights have no place in these countries. And United States is pampering them. And at the same time, United States say, we promote democracy, human rights, and freedom, liberty, equality, fraternity, as if those are America's cardinal principles. Freedom. And as one, during the French Revolution, Madame, I've forgotten her name, when she was being taken to the guillotine in the name of freedom, she said, or in the name of liberty, "O liberty, what crimes have been committed in thy name? In thy name, liberty, I am being guillotined, killed." So, in the name of freedom, United States have killed many more than Genghis Khan did in the medieval period. From 1945 onward, United States of America single-handedly eliminated multiple millions of people, unarmed civilians, in useless, counterproductive wars from Korea to Vietnam and Cambodia and Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and is ongoing through its surrogates like the Zionist entity. So what they have been doing in Iran is a continuation of that war. And they're killing people. Even now, the ceasefire has been signed, and Donald Trump was begging for it after Qatar was hit, rocked by Iranian missile. A country having no nuclear weapons, virtually having no air force, has intimidated and virtually overpowered two nuclear armed countries, USA and Israel. This is unprecedented in the realm of history. As a student of history, I can say this is the biggest victory an unarmed nation. Now, by unarmed means which is not having nuclear weapons and even doesn't have a functional air force, has trounced, defeated, virtually cornered, and humiliated United States of America and Israel in a span of 12 days time. And now Donald Trump is desperate, reprimanding Netanyahu, do not drop those bombs, bring your pilots back, and critical of Israel. Oh, Israel is doing things which is not desirable. Too late, too little, Mr. President. Too little, too late. You are a latecomer. This sort of thing should have been said in 1945. On 1948, 14th May, when Israel was created. Where were you, Americans? You were too late. You have done too little for human peace. And now your collective efforts won't be able to save the crumbling empire which you have been holding since 1492, since the Inquisition, or since Columbus discovered America. Virtually, you were going with the process of building an empire, evil empire. Ronald Reagan used to call Russia the evil empire. I think United States of America and its collaborators like United Kingdom, Germany, France, they are part of the evil empire. And one thing is notable. Mr. Carney, Canadian Prime Minister, has recently said Canada won't be with the United States of America in its war efforts. This is the beginning of the end of NATO and the end of their arrogance and new imperialist design across the world, including the Middle East. Iran was never colonized, and Iran has shown its mettle. Iran has shown its courage, and congratulations, Iranians. I'm not a big fan of the system of government that prevails in Iran, but what they have done is laudable. What the world was doing against Hitler is being done by Iran single-handedly. And now of late, Russia and China have sided with Iran. That has frightened Donald Trump. He realizes that pounding of Qatar is the beginning of the end of the US imperialism. They are not going to perpetuate their rule, their hegemony across the world. New players are in the block. New boys have come. North Korea is one of them. You may say they are maverick, you may defame them, you may color them as criminals, but they have emerged, and it's a question of time when Iran will be fighting not only with missiles, but possibly nuclear armed arsenal. And as Medvedev, former Russian president, said, there are too many countries, so many countries eager to give nuclear weapons to Iran. This should be an ominous warning to Mr. Trump. Iran doesn't have to manufacture a bomb to become nuclear. But you are lying. You have imposed sanctions. And in this ceasefire, unfortunately, Gaza was not mentioned. 55,000 innocent people were killed. 55,000, mostly women and children and elderly, helpless people in Gaza. And even when the ceasefire was signed on Monday, 71 unarmed Gazan civilians, Palestinians were killed when they were queuing up for food. They are hungry. They are poor. They are disabled. And the Sunni regimes in the world, from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, UAE, Jordan, all these evil empires are silently supporting Israel. Fortunately, as a Bangladeshi Canadian, I'm happy that one of their supporters, sponsors of terror in Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, who had close collaboration with Telaviv, which Hasina regime bought spyware from Israel, and very much in touch with Israel to subjugate people in Bangladesh. That regime is overthrown, and I think similar regimes in the Middle East will be overthrown. It's a question of time. It's a question of time only. Trump is begging for peace now, and I believe some future American president will be begging to the world for peace. Please forgive us for the crimes we committed. This is what the British Prime Minister or a French president or an American president will be saying in the not so distant future. This is what I believe. Long live liberation, long live victory, and revolution will take place throughout the world to crumble these evil empires across the world. Good luck, Iran. Congratulations, Iran. You have done something which the whole world should have done decades before. Please circulate it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.